Datelmer and Max are playing right now.
I know. Alright, Justin, Danny, when y'all get a chance, play on setup 1. Danny, right back.
Yo. Whimi. 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 You know you're second player, right? Yeah.
Right, Reilly player 1, yeah, Reilly 2.
Mythra. 0-7.
Oh.
3, 2, 1, go!
It's forward smash, yeah.
Nintendo, if you don't pull the fuck up over here. You're good, you're good.
No, I think he's still fucking playing on long ass time.
It's been a hot minute since I've seen Whimi come back, bro.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's a hot minute for me to see how you do these players play in general.
But at the same time, respectfully, I wouldn't be that mad if he won today's Capo. Because he's been on a long break since from the first Capo Seed 1, and he still won it anyway.
I mean,
so
I don't doubt that he probably like still plays every now and then or still puts in like
right.
You know, just messes around. He still got some skill, he's still keeping up.
And alright, nice DI from Reilly, barely making it to the stage, got a shot up the battlefield. And for the first time, we have a battlefield at start for the P2. Both of these players really utilizing their characters' capabilities on whatever the stage matters for them.
Both characters have really great moves too, so
yeah.
This could be an interesting battle.
And now that we're seeing Battlefield as their game 1, the counter picks is really going to be detrimental to both of these players in, in their whole set. Oh, that was a nice confirm. Oh, and the Zaire? Okay, yeah. Good stuff for Reilly for saving his jump after all of that stuff.
Hometown Edge is such a weird move, like just a weird attack just from the way Mythra can get hit and the way you can hit her.
Yeah.
Because it just does not equal out where you can get classified for the dumbest reason.
Have you ever seen the hitbox bubbles of Mythra's side B?
I have at some point, but that was a while ago.
Yeah. So you know how visually right now, like you see all the sword swings and all that shit happening? So I had an S-guard Mythra side B, whether you're at the very top of it or at the very bottom of it.
Yeah.
Her starting hitbox, individual hitbox buttons is all of those hitboxes are active, but Mythra's animation is slowly moving inside of that shit.
You know, I've seen, dude,
it's so weird.
I forget what I clashed with it once, but I'm just like, how the fuck did we both get hit? Like, this should not have worked.
Right. But Mythra's, at least like high-level top-tier Mythras, they know in the long run, like Cosmo, potentially Leo, and like Spargo, etc. Like, they all know. You can't. They normally can't spam side B because it's very punishable.
That move is bad.
It's good for whiff punishing in the middle of stage neutral, but as a recovery, it's one of the worst ones in the game.
I also think that like Whimi's kind of struggling right now, just keeping up with the Mythra speed because a character that has just as much frame data as you or better, and can just fucking do whatever you want. Yeah. It's also who knows how much actual experience he has.
Yeah. That's a very good question though, because it's like Bankai. I mean, Whimi is doing very good on whiff punishing a lot of Reilly's movement and stuff, and he's keeping up. He's the one controlling the pace of the match right now.
He has the neutral. It's just
so
the
far.
character itself.
Yeah, it's a bad matchup for ZSS for sure. If Pyra by herself, ZSS wins, but she loses because Mythra exists as a character. She's very fast. Slightly better frame data than Zero True Samus herself, besides the frame 1 job that ZSS has.
Yeah.
Because without that, it's like Mythra got every other frame data as a coverage.
And also, how are you just gonna get in against these big ass swords?
All right. This is an even game still. Don't let the percentage fool you on Battlefield ZSS.
I mean, this ain't Smash 4, but you can still get those up air chains.
That's all I'm saying. A lot of people think just because it's not Smash 4 ZSS doesn't mean she can't ladder you at all. We've seen Mars do it plenty of times, the best one in the world. We've seen F Sharp try it a few times. Whimi might got those himself too.
I mean, I'm gonna say Whimi's doing very good in just like keeping his range, just like, you know, kind of just zoning him out. But Reilly's not falling for it at all.
Right. Oh, good patience from Reilly, not falling for the paralyzer. Oh, okay. I thought something else was gonna happen out of it. Oh, good backer. Recognizing that up B was definitely not gonna be enough time to hit it, and even if up B did, it wasn't gonna kill anyway. Unless ZSS has maybe maximum rage right now.
Yo, one good catch from either player and it's over.
All right, 5 more. Oh, Reilly wasted no time. He said, nah, I'm not letting you get any more rage than you need to. And taking a very close game 1 right there from both of these players. All right. Whimi on the verge on going into his loser's run already from his first match on stream. How is he going to clutch it out? Is he going to run it back to Battlefield? If he's not going to go to Battlefield, he's probably going to go to maybe Smashfield to control the stages and shit like that. He probably ran it back. I didn't see what he clicked on. If it's not Battlefield, he probably went to small Battlefield. I saw one of those 2 stages. No way.
I don't know why I thought Reilly was yeah.
Because I know Whimi does have a PT also.
Yeah.
But you might as well go out with your best character. Oh, and he goes to P2.
Can I say I find it interesting how everybody kind of either switched characters at the beginning of Smash Ultimate and then like slowly started developing. It's like I used to main this character and now has become one of their better characters.
Which is interesting because that happens to a lot of players in every region. Is that you can be an old school player and main maybe what? 1 character and you use them for so many years, but then you start grinding your second. You know what? One example, Ned. Ned as a top player, right?
Yeah.
He used to be an old school PT player, at least old school in this game. Smash 4, he was Cloud, whatever, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
but not too many people that's getting to know Ned understands that he really used PT like for years. And then he recently became a Sephiroth main when Sephiroth as a character came out. So now that if Sephiroth is struggling, for example, he'll go to PT. Because like I got so much years
I'm not even saying
of
that.
training with that character.
No, I'm not even saying that because you have people like Cosmos or The Buzz, and then like, you know, they had their Smash 4 mains. It wasn't vibing too much at the beginning of Smash Ultimate. Then they switch characters because, you know, everybody had to pick the character.
Yeah.
Now you slowly start seeing those characters develop a lot more because they're just like, I'm misplaying this motherfucker. I gotta get back in this bitch.
You know what's crazy? Because Cosmos the other day was at a Japanese major, and everyone nowadays knows that he's an Aegis main.
Yeah.
But he was struggling against a Samus player named Yada, and he went from his Aegis got bodied in 2 games, and then he switched to.
That's that Wi-Fi flip kick. I'm sorry. That was the most Wi-Fi flip kick. You know
that was a very lazy recovery from Whimi, and I'm pretty sure he knows that. Understand? Kind of adjusted his posture a little bit, recognizing that he fucked up, but he's not gonna let it get to him as an old school top player in New York City.
They're really playing the range game out here. It's kind of,
Yeah.
I find it interesting.
Very even stocks, two stocks apiece. Very even percentages right now. So this is either player's game so far. Alright, kind of like what me and Shinigami was talking about earlier. The Photon Edge is very good for whiff punishing, but not good for
Or it's like throwing you off guard, but it's not.
It's like a good
tool.
like you're about to dash a little bit. I'm gonna take full advantage of the frame data of your lag and just whiff punish from right there.
I love the immediate like that, not even dash, but like the move into shield from Whimi to just get out of that.
Ooh, barely ducks under that whole move.
Damn, he's playing his rival.
All right, does the bread and butter ZSS recovery. Boom.
This is really a big back and forth because like they're playing so slow, but they're really getting to it. And that's why you don't use Photon Edge. Never mind, that's why you use Photon Edge.
That's their chat?
I've never heard that before, and that sucks.
That
is such a... It's so interesting how we're 5 years deep, and there's still so many things we don't know. Or the same with Melee, there's so many things we don't... He lived that?
Yo, that's crazy. I've never heard Aegis' chat before.
Wait.
That was a nice match from Reilly. Holy shit.
Yo,
Reilly is trying to win, bro.
mashing to get out of a barrier is so crazy because you can either delay the fuck out of it and save yourself, or you can mash like crazy and just not get killed by whatever
But
setup.
the simple fact that Reilly got out of it before the animation of bouncing fish was done, it was over.
Bouncing fish, nigga.
I mean, flip kick. Same shit. Niggas know what I mean when I say bouncing fish. Alright, and Whimi having max rage right now. One up, one up air strings can definitely take the game, especially on P2 ceiling.
Yeah, okay, but it is Mythra, so I doubt it. Like, I highly doubt it. You know that bitch just gonna phase through it.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be up to Whimi's fundamentals to carry that on. And I like the knowledge that he used
Yo, and he's,
the second side B instead of using the normal one.
and then on top of that, he kind of just like conditioning the shield and like zoning.
Right. That's
Like-
what most ZSSs do. Even Mars. Like Mars, the reason why Mars gets away with a lot of grabs against other top players is because he conditions you to shield so many times. Because they know in the long run, like ZSS is a bad character in early on
Oh my
players.
god, the Zayers! Yo, he's whipping this bitch.
My man did 88%, bro. From just flipping him to different platforms. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's so good finding a rare ZSS. Because nowadays in 2023, not that many people know this matchup anymore.
No, not at all.
It's rare because even at 2018, it was a hard match to find. And Whimi clutching it out with a good back air and pushing it into a game 3. Taking a big deep breath, like shit, man. Like my man really made me work hard for that stop.
No, and you got to think about it. Like, you know, sometimes you're playing a game and it drags on, but you don't think that it drags on.
Right.
But or like sometimes you're like, yo, I'm pushing the timeout.
You know what's crazy? Because that's a lot of times what anybody in general. Like, if you've been playing Smash for a long time, you know that 7 minutes is the clock. But to some people, 7 minutes is light when you're doing stuff in life. But in this game, 7 minutes is not fucking wrong, bro. And when both competitors are mentally on the same page, they don't pay attention to the time like that unless it's like 30 seconds.
Like, they're playing slower, but
Yeah.
how slow are they playing?
Exactly.
Like,
Are you gonna attempt to time me out, or are you gonna attempt to slow down the rhythm?
Or
that
are
I
we
was
both
building
just playing
up?
slow at the same time? Like,
Right.
are we like? Is it so happens to be slow, or are we just like we're not trying to fight at all?
Exactly.
Because I remember, I think it was Elegant versus Ken back in like Smash 4,
Okay.
and was it Smash 4? It was some major bracket where he had Elegant did a crazy run. I think it was a 2GG bracket. I think 2GG championships or some shit. And Elegant brought Ken to a timeout. But it's not like they were, you know, not approaching. They were hitting each other, but they were like nickel and dime each other every couple of seconds, like every so often.
Right.
And then like he's like, I never touched.
Wait a hot minute.
Oh,
My man
he's
said,
tired
I'm
of
gonna
it.
go
Yeah.
for a Joker at this point.
He wants the frame data to keep up. He wants to be able to just like box.
It's not even just the frame data, because
Well, yeah.
in terms of mobility, they're very similar. Is that Joker is just a better
Joker
character.
can benefit off of more.
Which on paper I understand that, and he can edge guard them a lot better with bullets and shit like that too.
You also don't have to put in as much effort. Like, no disregard, and like his ZSS is great, but you got to put in a lot of effort into that shit.
It's, but like me and you right now is witnessing right now. Is that most of us know that Whimi is the old school ZSS main / PT as a secondary.
Yeah.
But recently, even the last Cat Bros, I noticed he was attempting to try out Joker, even though it's not as good as most people think it is.
Yeah.
But the fact that he tried out the ZSS, he knew that it barely
we're
worked.
game 3.
And we're in game 3, and he's trying it out right now. He's like, all right, you know what? I gave you the main. I know that my main loses the matchup. Like, this example is a good example of, you know what? I'm in a paid tournament right now. I'm just going to do what I can to win at this point.
Like, he was putting in work. Like, the ZSS was putting in work.
That was a very good edge guard by Reilly, by the way. That wasn't really easy.
Yeah. No, the ZSS was putting in work, but like, again, you got to put in a lot of work to get there.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just the easier character. It may not be as great, but like,
it's not as exaggerated as
yeah.
Steve, but you know,
Yeah,
it
but
is
like,
just a better character.
sometimes it's also just the mental. Like, it just, the mental strain that just takes it down.
Right.
He's still zoning the motherfucker out. He should have just stayed ZSS at this point. I'll be honest now.
Honestly, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I like the ZSS. The ZSS is the one that got him up to game 3. I don't know if Joker is the answer to game 3 so far.
Especially the way he's playing right now, it's not keeping up.
He's struggling to keep up with neutral. He's struggling for the confirms right now. And Reilly's gonna catch on to that at like a stock later and then capitalize it at the whole set.
No,
he could have counted that or back it right under that thing. Yeah, there's a lot of situations, but that's why I'm saying that recovery is so bad that once you find the right person that knows how to punish it, it's over. And they show why. Oh man, and Whimi is not happy with that right now. Wow, what happened to his first stock?
Bro, remember he couldn't reach like the.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
the hook
he up B edge guarded him. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But honestly, sometimes it might also just be like, you know, like when one character's warmed up.
No.
Barely.
Yeah, he had it.
No, but you know when one character's warmed up and then try the second character that's slightly different. So now your whole mental is just off at that point.
Yeah.
And like
now, yeah, as we physically just seeing like Whimi like hitting himself on the leg, is that he's not satisfied at how this game is going, and I feel like he regrets picking Joker unless he somehow lets out his inner MKLeo and clutches this entire set out.
Yeah.
Because this is the game that matters right now. Running it, y'all went from Battlefield, y'all went to P2 and barely had it, and now you're running it back to Battlefield. Wow, good call out from Reilly with a
and the longer this goes,
the
the strain is just hitting him now.
Right, Reilly has a fresh whole second stock right now, and one Joker Arsene Edgeguard can reverse this whole thing back.
But he has to get
there. He has to put him in that situation. And right now he's mashing right now.
He's barely even able to get to Reilly.
And I feel like he's low-key disappointed because he's like, yo, he had too much hope. He expected to play Brandon, he expected to play Tito maybe me if I enter bracket, but losing to Reilly to him is going to be an upset. To him at least.
Yeah, I mean, like, we all know how Reilly is, but like.
And as Reilly being a very composed player, capitalizing on the mistakes that Whimi was doing, and making himself move on to his next round, keeping it into a very close game 3, into a 2-1 victory over Whimi.
I was just gonna say,